What does it really take to break into top consulting firms? Is it your CV, your cover letter, or is it your performance in the case interviews? Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Career Talks, where I chat with professionals about their career paths, daily job responsibilities and how they manage to land their jobs. In this video I talk to Karim. Karim is a BCG consultant in London, and in this video he walks us through a step-by-step guide on how to break into top-tier consulting firms. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I think now we touched on the interview process, but I'm sure you also get the question of tell me about the process, but also tell me how to prepare to get into these top-tier consulting firms, even the experience, good experience they offer, the exit opportunities. So if you can really try to give some advice on for this stage of the interview, do this.
So I think make sure you're the right candidate and you have the right skills, and that takes more time than just in the few months leading up to. I think if you have more time to prepare, if you're in your first year at university, or if you know that you will apply in 2-3 years, make sure you have the right experiences that will allow you to demonstrate that you have problem solving, communication skills to work under ambiguity, managing senior people and stakeholders. That is important, and there is a range of things you can do for that. Be involved in new ventures and conferences and competitions and the right courses at university, etc. Or if you're in a job, try to put yourself in situations that will help you develop these skills. After making sure that you're the right candidate, demonstrate that properly in a good CV. Ideally, especially if you're early on in your career, you want to make sure that that is on one page. It shows that you have the right skills. It's skills focused, the CV. And for some interviews or for some companies, you need to develop a strong cover letter that shows that you have the right skills, that you have the right motivation, and that you understand what value the company will bring to you as a candidate. After you've done that, obviously you do the online application. You might want to answer some motivation questions, some 200 words on why you want to apply, etc. Make sure that is well researched. You've spoken to people in the firm. From there on, I think the next step, you need to make sure that you are ready for the aptitude tests. So tests that are there to examine your maths and quantitative skills, your problem solving skills, your comprehension skills, and so on. That is really important, and there are resources online where you can practice these aptitude tests. Moving on again in the process, the next step is that you'll have the interviews. Interviews will, as we said, will test your behavioral. There's a behavioral part and there's the case part. On the behavioral part, make sure you have, as we said, 5 really solid, or at least 5 solid examples of situations that can demonstrate that you have the right communication skills, problem solving skills, leadership,
from your
teamwork,
past experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And these need to be proper, extensive, solid examples that are convincing, not a very high level small example.
It needs to be, presentation
it needs to be a rigorous one, because you will be asked detailed questions about that. And then finally, and most importantly, something that takes time is preparing for the cases. And there are many resources online to prepare for cases, like Case Coach and others. There are also websites that can put you in touch with other people that are preparing for the same process, so you can prepare with them, because it really helps to actually do cases with someone that is going through the process.
Any of these websites you recommend, or does Case Coach do?
I haven't personally used them. I tried to find people that are going through the process and friends that I know. But it's really important to know how to manage the process. There are things that are good to have as habits when doing the cases, whether it's the note taking, whether it's how you summarize the case at the end, whether it's the clarifying questions, the mental maths. There are things that you can definitely do to prepare. Some people download the mental maths application, do some mental maths, for example.
So
that these hygiene factors you should get them right. There's no excuse for not getting them right. Because if you get them right in the case itself, you're focusing on solving the problem rather than what you need to do.
Yeah.
So get the process right. And then in the case, all your mental effort is just on how do I get to the right answer? Right, quote unquote, right answer. Because there is no right answer in some cases. And the other piece is obviously having done a good enough amount of cases that you're familiar with the typical candidates. So there are cases that typically show up, or types of cases, and obviously it would be good to have a clear way of how you want to approach those. Having said that, the last thing you want to do is just memorizing frameworks and just regurgitating those on the spot. If you do that, you will be eliminated from the process. You need to make sure that you're thinking of the right questions that need to be addressed to get to the answer. So when you're asked, okay, how would you approach this case? Think of the 3-4 questions that actually, if you answer them, you can get to an answer
so
or
you're
recommendation.
Against having these 4 frameworks.
Understand the frameworks, but use them as guidance. Don't use them as templates that you apply one-to-one.
Yeah.
Like that is, I think, a red flag for the interviewer, which I think is what a lot of candidates do. They memorize the frameworks. You're asked, okay, profit and loss, you just use the profit and loss framework. Or would you buy this company or not? Again, they would just go for the template framework. That is dangerous, not helpful, and it shows that you're just memorizing frameworks. What you really need to do is, what are the key questions that need to be answered to get to the right recommendation? Obviously, these questions are inspired, they're related to the framework, but the framework itself is not good enough. You need to tailor it to the specific problem that you have. And that takes practice.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
There are resources that can help with that. I personally used Case Coach, for example, which was really helpful. But there's no shortage of resources out there.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you very much for this detailed and very insightful
My pleasure.
answer.